He called out to Section Chief John, Chief O, and Deputy Manager Kang, but it was no use. The cultivators flew into the sky and disappeared. Seeing them go, Seo was very disappointed, but it was no use because the same thing had happened 50 years ago. No matter how hard they shouted, those cultivators ignored them like insects and continued on their way. Seo was a little relieved that at least they had healed his arm. While chasing after them, Director Kim ran out of breath and fell to the ground asking, "What do you want us to do in a forest like this?" But before he lost all hope, suddenly Director Kim saw many beams of light flying in the direction those cultivators had gone. Seeing that, he got confused and asked, "What are all those lights in the sky? Is there something in that direction?" But Director Kim could not leave his team behind, so he returned. The next day, it was a rainy day with lightning striking all around. All four, Deputy Manager O, Manager Kim, Manager Seo, and Director Kim, were hiding in the same cave. But Deputy Manager O's condition was not good. She was coughing up blood while lying on the ground. Manager Kim asked Seo if there was some kind of herb they could use because Deputy Manager O was in terrible condition. She was panicking, not knowing what to do. Knowing the future, Seo told Manager Kim, "Let's wait a little longer. Someone might appear and heal her." Hearing that, Manager Kim got confused. Suddenly they heard someone's footsteps. Someone entered the cave and said, "Mortals in the ascension path are like ants, suffering among the competition between dragons." Seeing that man, Director Kim jumped right in front and asked, "Who are you?" The person smiled and said, "I am the Sea Dragon King, Seo Hueol." The Sea Dragon King, Seo Hueol, told them that Deputy Manager O was controlling the storm outside. Hearing that, everyone was shocked. The Sea Dragon King explained that the storm suddenly appeared out of nowhere, so he came to look for its cause. Pointing at Deputy Manager, he said that the lady lying over there must have used the sorcery of the storm. The Sea Dragon King was amazed because she was an ordinary woman without even a trace of cultivation. So how could she wield such overwhelming power? Additionally, she was not even doing it consciously, which was very strange. Hearing that, Seo told the Sea Dragon King that actually, they were the confused ones. They had only been in this place for a short time, yet one after another, powerful people like him appeared and took away their companions. Hearing that, the Sea Dragon King couldn't control his laughter. He asked Seo if he was saying that among his colleagues, there were a few with extraordinary potential, and then, as if prearranged, powerful cultivators showed up and took them away. And now, here he was, conveniently appearing in front of this woman. Seo told the Sea Dragon King, "That's exactly what happened." Looking at Seo, the Sea Dragon King smiled and asked, "Dear mortal, do you know where we are?" He told Seo that this place was known as the Ascension Path, or the Path to Ascension. It was a key gateway that leads to the upper realm. In just a few months, a dimensional rift called the Ascension Gate would open right around here. It happens once every 1,000 years. Countless high-level cultivators and spiritual beings would have already begun gathering around the path to ascension to ascend to the upper realm. So, isn't it quite likely that cultivators like him would appear near them? Hearing that, Seo finally understood everything. Then Director Kim told the Sea Dragon King that those cultivators said they were taking his colleagues to join their sects, and if they were ascending to the upper realm, how could his colleagues join them? Hearing that, the Sea Dragon King told them it might be hard for mortals like them to understand. He took out a bottle similar to those the cultivators had, and explained that there was a technique among cultivators used to shrink large objects and store them inside magical tools like this. Those cultivators would have likely stored their sects inside items like these. Their goal was to ascend to the upper realm, along with their entire sect when the Ascension Gate opened. The Sea Dragon King told them that, in fact, he too had packed one of the undersea castles of his Sea Dragon clan inside this very item. Inside it, 1,800 sea dragons lie dormant. Hearing that, Seo and Director Kim's jaws dropped in shock. The Sea Dragon King patted Deputy Manager O's head, saying she was how peculiar and intriguing. If she were to join the Sea Dragon clan, she could become something extraordinary. Seeing him patting the unconscious Deputy Manager O's head, Director Kim jumped to stop the Sea Dragon King, but the next second he fell to his knees as a very powerful force pinned him to the ground. When Director Kim tried to fight that force, it increased every time, putting more pressure on him. The one putting that pressure was the Sea Dragon King. He lifted Deputy Manager O in his hand, and told Director Kim that he would give Deputy Manager O his blood, and accept her as his kin, and that would be best for all of them. He also gave one more piece of advice. Looking at Director Kim with his green glowing eyes, he warned him not to casually ask high-level cultivators questions. Just as he said that, the pressure on Director Kim and Seo increased, and both of their eyeballs popped out. While holding Deputy Manager O in his hands, the Sea Dragon King walked away from there, telling them that he answered because he was generous, but most cultivators would have killed them for the mere act of asking a question. Saying that, he walked out of the cave into the thunderstorm, transformed into his real dragon form, and flew back into the sky. His dragon form was so big and strong that it seemed to reach the sky. Then, the next morning, the thunderstorm suddenly stopped, and the weather cleared. Manager Kim was too shocked by the fact that all her colleagues had been kidnapped. She could not understand what was happening. An avalanche out of nowhere, then immortals and dragons abducting their companions. She could not digest all of this, and began to lose her mind. Seeing her like that, Seo approached, trying to calm her down, but while shaking, Manager Kim said, "Manager Seo, please, you must not be taken as well. If you're taken too, I won't be able to survive in this forest alone." Saying that, she started crying. Seeing her like that, Seo wanted to reassure her that he would not leave her, but he knew that unfortunately, their time was up. Just then, Manager Kim felt something in her head and screamed. She fell to the ground, grabbing her head, and told Seo that something was coming. Seeing her screaming, Director Kim came running and asked, "What's wrong with her now?" Suddenly the whole jungle went wild. All the birds in the sky and all the animals in the forest started running for their lives. Manager Kim started shaking and told them that it was head. Hearing that, Director Kim got confused, and before he could understand anything, suddenly an old man riding a mechanical lion appeared. That old man was shocked to see mortals there, and asked how mere mortals had gotten into the path to ascension. But looking at them, it didn't take that old man long to understand that when the ascension gate was about to open, the surrounding space became unstable, and they must have been caught in a spatial storm. He laughed, praising himself as a genius for understanding it immediately. He then came down from his mechanical lion, and asked them who was the one who had just emitted that massive consciousness. He laughed, saying that it was such a powerful presence. He had thought a sage from the upper realm had descended. Looking at Deputy Manager O's condition, he asked if it was her. Director Kim came forward and stopped the old man, saying, "Manager Kim is our colleague." But with just one swing of his finger, the old man sent Director Kim flying to one side. Seeing that, Seo immediately jumped to catch Director Kim to protect him. He caught Director Kim but was also sent flying, crashing to the ground. Director Kim was uninjured and thanked Deputy Manager Seo, but Seo didn't respond. Seeing that, Director Kim panicked and helped Seo up. To their surprise, Seo's whole back was exposed and injured because of crashing on the ground. Director Kim was shocked seeing that and asked Seo if he was all right. Seo, in a slow voice, told Director Kim he was okay. On the other hand, the old man went to Deputy Manager O and grabbed her by the chin, asking, "Let me take you in. You don't have any spiritual root, but I can awaken it for you with my power." The old man wondered what would happen if such a strange consciousness evolved into a cultivator's divine consciousness. Hearing that, Deputy Manager O started crying and looked at Seo and Director Kim for help. Seeing her looking at them, the old man looked at Seo and Director Kim and asked if she was still clinging to her worldly attachments, even after he offered to take her in. This made the old man angry. Using his powers, he grabbed both Seo and Director Kim by the neck and lifted them into the air. Both of them started struggling to breathe. The old man told Deputy Manager O that he would sever all her worldly ties for her himself. Seeing both of them struggling like that, Deputy Manager O got very scared. She started crying, begging the old man to please stop. She told him she would do anything he asked if he just spared them. Hearing that, the old man told Deputy Manager O that she must forget all her worldly attachments. While crying, Deputy Manager O told him she understood. After hearing that, the old man spared Seo and Director Kim, and both of them fell to the ground. But the old man knew that if he left them there, she would remain attached, so he decided to return them to a mortal nation nearby. Saying that, he used his spiritual powers and opened a portal. The old man told Deputy Manager O that both of her colleagues would be randomly scattered through a dimensional rift, and not even he knew where they would land. Just as he said that, the huge portal opened and started sucking both Seo and Director Kim inside. Director Kim was immediately sucked into the portal before he could even understand what was happening, while Seo, before getting sucked in, used all his power to grab the herbs he had collected the previous day. Then both of them got sucked inside. Deputy Manager O, at the opening of the portal, was crying for them. As the portal closed, everything turned black. Suddenly, a whole crowd's voices filled their ears. A street vendor's voice came, saying, "We have the finest silks in Yangguo. We have newly arrived scriptures from Shengji." Both Seo and Director Kim were lying unconscious on the ground. Seo was the first to regain consciousness. As he stood up, He looked ahead and saw that he was in an alleyway with many people walking down the street ahead. Seo didn't recognize this place and wondered where he was. The reason he didn't recognize it was that in his previous life, he hadn't fallen into a place like this. He slowly stood up, realizing that the immortal had been telling the truth, that where they landed was random. As Seo walked out of the alleyway, he found that this path felt familiar for some reason. Looking around, he finally understood that this was the place he had once lived in for those 50 years. There was a huge 10-story building right in front of Seo. Seeing that building, he finally recognized that this was the capital of Yangguo, Seokyung City. After witnessing the scene outside, Seo returned to Director Kim and woke him up. Director Kim was very exhausted and told Manager Seo that he couldn't keep up with what was going on anymore. Sitting beside Seo, he told Director Kim he felt the same way. It would be nice if this was all just a dream. Director Kim couldn't believe that it was just the two of them left behind, but he thought he should be relieved that they weren't taken by those monsters. Seo just looked at the confused Director Kim and didn't say anything, because even he didn't know about this. He may have regressed, but in his past life, he was nothing but a powerless herb gatherer. Seo then told Director Kim that they couldn't stay in this alleyway forever, so why didn't they get out of here? Director Kim said, "All right," and both of them left the alleyway. But as they came out, all the people of that place started staring at them while talking in some unknown language. Hearing those people, Director Kim got very confused. He asked Seo, "What are they saying? It sounds like Chinese. Why are the people whispering while looking at us?" Seo told Director Kim that some people were saying the clothes both of them were wearing looked funny. Hearing that, Director Kim was shocked. Seo smiled and told him not to worry because he knew a bit of Chinese. Director Kim wanted to ask him something, but seeing Seo's injured back, he didn't ask and said, "That's great." Seo said that, but in reality, he lied to Director Kim. The language those people were speaking was not Chinese. Other than the fact that they used the same characters, it sounded completely different. In his past life, Seo had to endure the mockery of beggars for 2 months, just to learn the basics of the language, but now, there was no need for that. Seo took out the herbs he had collected earlier and asked Director Kim if they should get some new clothes. Hearing that, Director Kim was confused and asked how, because he felt like the people of this place wouldn't accept their money. Seo didn't explain to Director Kim, and just took him to the city's medicine hall. The owner of the medicine hall was shocked to see the ginseng, and asked Seo if he was really letting them buy such precious herbs.